Let me tell you something. What unfolded at the Masters tournament in 2026 wasn't just a collapse. It was a moment that instantly carved itself into golf history, because Rory McIlroy looked untouchable through 2 rounds, holding the largest 36-hole lead the tournament had ever seen, playing with a level of control and confidence that made a back-to-back green jacket feel inevitable, only to watch that entire advantage vanish over the course of a single, brutal Saturday at Augusta National Golf Club, where he entered the third round 6 shots clear and walked off the course tied for the lead after every stroke of that cushion disappeared, as Cameron Young surged from 8 shots back to match him at 11 under par, turning what seemed like a runaway into a psychological battle that felt hauntingly familiar, because this wasn't just about missed shots or bad breaks. It echoed some of the most infamous moments in golf history, drawing uncomfortable comparisons to Greg Norman's 1996 Masters collapse, Jordan Spieth's unraveling, and even McIlroy's own painful Sunday in 2011, moments where Augusta exposed how fragile dominance can be under pressure. And while the numbers from that Saturday, swing inconsistencies, missed opportunities, shifting momentum, tell part of the story, the deeper reality lies in how quickly confidence can erode on a course designed to punish even the slightest lapse, especially in a tournament that had already been framed around McIlroy's legacy after his 2025 victory, where he completed the career Grand Slam and joined legends like Gene Sarazen, Ben Hogan, Gary Player, Jack Nicklaus, and Tiger Woods as one of the few to conquer all 4 majors, becoming the first European to do so. A triumph that should have removed the weight of Augusta from his shoulders, but instead set the stage for a different kind of pressure, because now he wasn't chasing history, he was trying to defend it. And in a sport where momentum can flip in a matter of holes, that shift, from hunter to hunted, can be far more dangerous than the chase itself. Now he returned to Augusta attempting something almost mythical in modern golf, back-to-back Masters tournament victories, a feat achieved only by legends like Jack Nicklaus, Nick Faldo, and Tiger Woods, and the atmosphere around Augusta National Golf Club was already unusual before a shot was struck, with a 91-player field missing 2 of golf's biggest modern icons, as Tiger Woods sat out following a DUI arrest linked to a late March car crash in Florida, and Phil Mickelson withdrew for a family health matter, marking the first Masters since 1994 without either of them competing, while honorary starters like Jack Nicklaus, Tom Watson, and Gary Player carried the ceremonial weight of tradition on the first tee, setting a tone that felt both historic and unsettled. And into that environment stepped Rory McIlroy, the defending champion who had finally completed the career Grand Slam the year before. Yet even before the tournament began, his press conference revealed something deeper than confidence, because while he acknowledged that reaching the Grand Slam had felt like a destination he had chased for most of his career, he also admitted that once he got there, the satisfaction didn't last the way he expected, saying that success only shifted the goalposts. And even more striking was his honest reflection that this year felt different emotionally, that for the first time in nearly 2 decades, he didn't feel the same anticipation he once associated with Augusta, a comment that hinted at a subtle psychological shift beneath the surface of a defending champion's mindset, but none of that showed in his opening round, where he posted a composed 67 to share the lead with Sam Burns, recovering from an uneven start with key birdies late in the round. And then Friday escalated into something historic as McIlroy fired a 65 to reach 12 under par, producing one of the most dominant 36-hole performances in Masters history, including birdies on 6 of his final 7 holes and a putting performance that statistically separated him from the field, averaging 1.42 putts per hole compared to a field average of 1.67, building a 6-shot lead, the largest ever recorded after 2 rounds at Augusta. And afterward he described his approach as fearless and instinct-driven, talking about keeping swinging and treating the tournament like an unfolding challenge rather than a burden. But that sense of control made what came next even more shocking, because Saturday at Augusta, National delivered one of the most statistically extraordinary 3rd rounds in tournament history, with ideal scoring conditions producing a wave of low numbers across the leaderboard as 19 players broke 70. Yet McIlroy stood out for the wrong reason, becoming the only player inside the top 12 to finish over par, and in that single round the entire narrative of dominance began to fracture in a way that few could have predicted. He posted a 73 and surrendered every stroke of his once commanding lead in a collapse that unfolded with the kind of inevitability only the Masters tournament can produce, beginning with an early warning sign on the first hole where Rory McIlroy missed a short par putt and immediately dropped a shot, before steadying himself through the front nine and briefly restoring control with a birdie at the 10th that pushed him ahead again, only for everything to unravel the moment he reached the most unforgiving stretch at Augusta National Golf Club, because at the 11th his approach found the water, and a missed short putt turned what should have been routine into a double bogey that erased most of his cushion in an instant, shrinking a 4-shot advantage to almost nothing. And then at the 12th the swing visibly tightened, a moment he later described as his body stopping through impact, producing another bogey that eliminated his lead entirely, followed by the 13th, where a drive into the trees forced him into survival mode just to avoid further damage. While behind him Cameron Young produced a blistering response with a 65 built on 8 birdies that flipped the leaderboard entirely, and although McIlroy showed fight with birdies at 14 and 15 to stay relevant, a costly mistake at 17, a drive into trouble and another drop shot, left him tied at the top rather than in control, and beneath the surface the numbers told an even more troubling story, as his iron play lost its stability, with spin axis data showing a shift from controlled, shaped to unpredictable movement that destabilized his entire scoring structure, meaning the collapse wasn't just emotional but mechanical first, psychological second, and afterward the image that lingered most wasn't even the scorecard, but McIlroy alone on the practice range under the floodlights, trying to repair what had just broken, a scene that inevitably echoed past Augusta heartbreaks like Greg Norman in 1996, Jordan Spieth in 2016, and McIlroy's own infamous unraveling in 2011, raising the same unresolved question that always follows Augusta collapses, whether this was a failure of nerve or simply the brutal volatility of elite golf under maximum pressure, because even McIlroy himself admitted afterward that he got a little uneasy after 11, while insisting he would try to play freer on Sunday as if already holding the green jacket. But Augusta rarely rewards optimism alone, and across the leaderboard Cameron Young remained composed, steady, and detached from the chaos unfolding around him, creating a stark psychological contrast between a player wrestling with momentum and memory and another quietly executing without visible strain. And as the field reset for Sunday the mathematics were simple but unforgiving. A 6-shot lead had vanished in a single afternoon. The defining holes of Amen Corner had once again reshaped the Masters leaderboard, and McIlroy still had a chance to redeem it. But Saturday, in every statistical, emotional, and historical sense, already belonged to the kind of Augusta lore that never fades.